December at 9 p.m.
This broadcast is brought to you in association with Dream 11 and Shriram Finance in partnership with HP Lubricants, Roff, Mother Dairy Maa Jaisi and Red Bull.
Three changes for the Lumbini Lions. Ashutosh Gharia coming in place of Unmukh Chand. Ben Cutting is drafted in the playing 11 as well, and Abhishek Gautam too getting a chance. One change for the Janakpur Balls. Sher Malla coming in for Tur Bahadur. Both teams making some changes to their playing 11, but it's desperation at the moment here for the Lumbini Lions. A loss from here on, and they'll be playing catch-up in this campaign.
Yeah, the Lions are definitely looking for a good opening partnership, and they've not got one in both the games, or all the three games that they've played. It's been up to Rohit Paudel and Tom Moores, who have been the backbone of their innings. Vivek Yadav came good yesterday, but they need a good start. Durgesh Gupta, the new bowler. Been impressive.
Oh yes, a very good morning to Benjamin Collin, James Cutting as well, the globe-trotting Brisbane-born all-rounder. Ben, good morning. Can you hear us loud and clear? Yeah, Ben, are you with us? Very good morning. Another inside edge, they'll push for a single. We'll just check with Ben once again if he's able to hear a voice. Ben, this is Mikhail Vaswania. Seem to be having a problem reaching out to him. We'll come back to that in a short while. Just coming back to this innings. Anil and Asif, they've stitched some partnerships, yes. They'll ideally want to get a big score going here up front. Arjun Saud behind the stumps. Did have a nice chat with Martin Guptill, and a ball later, Guptill was on his way back. Durgesh Gupta is blown hot, blown cold. Started off really well. With 3 wickets in the first match, has been wicketless in the next 2.
He's a good bowler, Durgesh Gupta. Bowls the new ball, then comes back in the middle, and in the end got a good array of slower balls. Yeah, they need early wickets, the Lions, and they got an opportunity which they put down.
He's just trying to manufacture a shot over there, just making room for himself.
A little bit of moisture on the surface is not making stroke play very easy. The ball is just gripping on the surface. The bowler, if he's got the ability to hit the seam, it will do a bit early on. Anil Kumar Shah and Asif trying to break the shackles here, but they have been kept quiet. I must say, they got an inside edge boundary, but other than that, they haven't been able to play the big shots.
Yeah, Durgesh Gupta 3 for 21 in that first game against Biratnagar Kings, and then the next 2 games he went wicketless, conceding 67 runs across the 5 overs he bowled in 2 matches. As a bowler, how important is rhythm and momentum, Sri?
I think this is a type of competition that you've got to accept, that you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. As long as your preparation and your focus remains consistent, and you've got a very consistent game plan which you can fall back to, then I don't think results should matter.
Close call. Good running as well. Just coming back to Durgesh, he's a hard-working, lion-hearted bowler. We'll expect him to come back. Done with over number 2. It's 8 for no loss. Lumbini Lions is what the Janakpur Bowls are playing today. They have to play Sudat Paschim Royals, Kathmandu Gurkhas as well in the coming days. Some good teams lined up. Gives that a wild swing. Anil Shah. He's taking his chances in the middle.
Yeah, they're trying to break the shackles. They still haven't been able to. The new ball's doing a bit. Lucky that didn't crash into the off stump. Shah. Swing across the line. It's better off hitting straight and wait for the right scoring opportunity. A good player, Anil Kumar Shah. He's captained this team very well as well.
Much better. Yeah, as a bowling unit, wickets is the key. It's right. Once again, just connect with Benjamin Collin, James Cutting. Ben, good morning. Can you hear me? This is Mikhail.
The volume is not going up, mate.
Yeah, hi Ben. All good? You can hear, right?
I'll Simo.
Yeah, Ben, how's it been in Nepal? Good morning.
Bal Simo.
Still seem to be having some problems reaching the audio to Ben. If you can hear us, Ben. Mikhail. Right.
Lovely Simo.
Reconnecting once again. Yeah, it's been a quiet start here for Janakpur Bowls. Into the third. Just the 1-4. Oh, this could be close. But was it pitching outside leg? Playing across the line, Asif.
Turn the volume.
Raman Simmons bowling really well. It's got movement both ways. I think it pitched outside leg. Big heave across the line from Asif. You've got to read the conditions here. It's doing a bit early on, so you've got to bide your time as opening batters. Ben, I'm trying to reach you. This is Sriram and Mikhail. Can you hear us, please?
Yeah, he's coming at an angle here. Raymond Simmons, and it's getting a little difficult for the batters. Just putting on a wild swing in the middle at the moment.
It's coming at an angle, and what Asif is doing is fighting that angle to go across it. You might as well look to hit on the offside, hit straight. And then that plays into the angle from where he's releasing. He's not getting the ball back a lot. He's going across the right-hander. Is Raman Simmons predominantly gets movement away. So you've got to set yourself to hit mid-off, extra cover.
Much better. Hold your pose. Asif Sheikh for the photographers. Because that's a beautiful strike. That's a Siddharth Bank maximum. What a way to end over number 3. It's 15 for no loss. Yeah, that's Ben Cutting there. We're trying to connect with him. So much to ask him. So much to speak with him. A very fine Australian cricketer. What a strike that from Asif Sheikh in the last ball of Simmons' second over. Quality shot. And now Arjun South standing up for Durgesh Gupta, over number 4. That's one more lovely strike. Don't bother running. That's out of here as well. Anil Shah dishing out a beautiful hit over long off. That's another Siddharth Bank maximum.
Now the difference between what they were doing early and what they're doing now is hitting more through the line. Both these left-arm seamers are not getting movement inside into the right-hander. Doing a cross, and that's a good place to hit if you're using the angle rather than fighting the angle. Anil Kumar Saha was earlier trying to hike the ball into the leg side, but this swing is a lot better. Through the line, into the side screen. Lovely shot from Anil Kumar Saha.
Yeah, straight to the field. Looks a good surface. You play through the line, you get value for your shots in the middle.
Definitely. Once it dries out, it'll become an even better surface to bat on. The new ball, the hard new ball with a pronounced seam, had some movement early. Now we're into the fourth over. This change in angle as well from Durgesh Gupta is coming round the wicket, which means he generally wants to cramp that swing. His line's going to be a lot straighter.
Yeah, you've got to bowl in the width of the stumps, back of the length. Just cramp the batter, not offer much room as a bowling unit. You won the toss, you'd want to take those wickets.
They had a chance put down. That was very unfortunate. Look at that for a swing. Yeah, the angle gave him the width to free his arms. But now Durgesh switched back over the wicket. They're in search of their first wicket. They've not been able to break through the Lumbini lines.
Yeah, drifting down leg side. There's protection in the deep. Will get a single. These days we see a lot of trigger movement, Shri. Could you add more perspective for a batter who just moves a bit in the crease to ready himself to create a solid base?
Not a bad thing to do. You usually move early so that, you get some sort of momentum. You don't want to be still and reacting to what's coming at you, but you want to get some sort of momentum early so that you're ready. It's just a cue to your brain saying that you're ready to face that delivery. And different people have different trigger movements, and we can talk about that later on. But why someone does the trigger, as we see another boundary. The keeper up to the stumps this time. Durgesh Gupta going short. It was an inside edge. And it's another super 4 powered by Ensel. Yeah, it was a bit of a top edge, and the keeper had no chance. Standing up to the stumps, you've got no chance to catch that. You'd rather be standing back. At least that was an opportunity. If he had been standing back, there's a bit of a lack of communication between the bowler and the keeper. 26 for no loss. What should have been 26 for 2. We're into the last ball of the fourth over.
No half measures here. Down the leg side, helping it for a 4. This is turning out to be a costly over. 15 runs in over number 4. Janakpur bowls are up and running, 30 for no loss. Yeah, it's a working Sunday here in Nepal, but the crowd's trickling in, and very fast this is filling up as well. A lot of colour. Day 8 match number 14, a must-win for Lumbini Lions, who opted to bowl first. And Janakpur bowls a 30 for no loss in the first 4, and for the first time in this match we'll be seeing spin from the far end. It's going to be Abhishek against 2 very experienced batters in the middle. Left arm orthodox. So many left-arm spinners in this part of the world, Shri.
He's making his NPL debut today, Abhishek Gautam. All the best, young man. Looks a confident young man on screen. And he's replacing Dinesh Adhikari, who was a medium-pace bowler. So looking forward to see the young man in action, bowling in power play, never easy.
This is high. There's a fielder position just for that, but he'll turn spectator. He's got plenty of willow on that one, Anil Saha. He's taking his chances, and the bowls are accumulating the Siddharth Bank 6s with consummate ease in the middle.
That's 6 number 158. And the second 6 for Anil Kumar Saha. It's not that bad a delivery from the young left-arm spinner. The short side of the ground. And Anil Kumar has targeted that short side really well. That's good, smart batting. But the youngster should not be overawed. Good comeback. I like that from Abhishek Gautam. Good maturity. He's bowling to a senior pro who's taken him on the first ball. But he's shown good ability to come back. Abhishek Gautam, I like him. Good action.
Yeah, just following the batter. But that's a very good strike. That's another six for Anil Kumar Shah. His third, bowls fourth. And this over is turning out to be a six-hitting fest at the moment. Baptism by fire here for the youngster Abhishek.
Yeah, that's inexperience. Anil Kumar Shah playing around with the mind of the bowler. He's backing away so that he wants the bowler to follow him, and then he can open up that big leg, small leg side boundary. Abhishek Gautam falling to the bait. That's good batting from Anil Kumar Shah, but the youngster should not get unfazed by what his senior pro is doing. 42 for no loss.
He did get a wonderful 50 against the Yaks and missed out with the Avengers, but today it's looking so good. 25 of 18 out of 42. This partnership just growing in confidence. The feel for Abhishek. He's been under the cosh very early. 12 runs off his first 3 deliveries, but comebacks are a necessity in any sport. We've seen that with so many spinners in this tournament. Hit for a 6 and they've come back to take a wicket. Much better. Slow through the air, giving it some flight, inviting the batter into the shot.
Don't get fooled by his analysis. 12 or 4 balls, he's a good bowler. Abhishek Gautam, that's beautifully bowled. That was slow, a bit of turn. Yeah, Shah knows probably that he's a good bowler. He's attacking him early. That is again beautifully bowled. Buys. Nothing going right for the Lions. The old problems come to haunt them again. That was exceptionally well bowled, but the keeper was not able to collect it. Extras coming into play. Look at that for flight. And we've rarely seen a left-arm spinner spin it so much and beat the outside. That's very, very good bowling from the young man. But the old problems continuing to haunt the Lions.
Too good a delivery not to fetch a wicket there. He's bowled well. Early days for him. This one with the arm. He's come back well. He's been a little unlucky, but he's been up against 2 very fine batters in the middle. A wonderful contest loading here. We're done with over number 5. It's 47 for no loss.
जब विरोधी हो टफ और परीक्षा हो कठोर तो करो जरा गौर. अगर टफेस्ट राइवल के सामने जीतना हो तो टुक टुक नहीं ठोक ठोक के जीतो.
टफेस्ट राइवलरी में ऋषभ पंती तो बनती है. Australia versus India, third test, 14th December at 5:20 a.m. This broadcast is co-presented by Aditya Birla Group, a force for good, Nexa, and Birla Opus Paints in association with C8, Pan Bahar, and Amazon.in, India की अपनी दुकान.
Well, what a flying start from the joint top of the table. Janakpur bolts. 2 of Nepal's best batters putting on an absolute show in very tricky early morning conditions. Irsad bin Safar. Is going to come into the attack. And ex-Canadian captain, was captain as recently as this year, he is someone that I think the Lumbini Lions need a lot more from. He's a highly experienced campaigner, good bowler, good batter. It's a good diving stop, will keep it to a single. As I wish a good morning to HD Ackerman, he's not been at his best thus far for the Lions.
No, all the bowlers have struggled really. I do think they were a little bit unlucky in that opening over from Simmons. There was an outside edge that was put down and then an inside edge that shaved the off stump and ran away for 4. Things could have been a little bit different, but he has an opportunity. Who wants it? Taken. He has offered more. He's given them their first.
Just as we were discussing it, he stood up for the Lions. Trick for a Seafair is he's trying to come across the ball, looking for the slog sweep into the larger side, and it just comes straight off the top edge. Maybe just a hint of turn. And although it went a long way up, Bibek Yadav makes the catch look awfully easy. Asif Sheikh sparkled briefly, but he has to go for 16. It's 48-1. Here's someone who's having a very good tournament, Lahiru Malantha. He's actually been holding on to the gloves as well, ahead of the 2 national team keepers, Anil San, Asif Sheikh. And I think he's loving every second here in Nepal from what we can gather. The man from Sri Lanka, who now plies his trade in the United States of America. Many American fans will be wondering, why can't he get a go on the national team? Stylish player, very, very fine ball striker. It's a good start to the tournament. Sad bin Safar will have played quite a lot of minor league cricket with him. These two will know each other well. He's hiding it away. The key here is the short side, isn't it, for the left-hander? Let's get another look at the wicket.
You heard the captains at the toss say that the early morning surface here just holds a little bit while there's some moisture in it. Now there's some bounce.
Yeah, you can just see that Sheikh has not really got on top of that little bit of bounce and turn. Good catch, well judged, Bibek Yadav. Good couple of days for him. Big hit. Well, maybe one of the biggest we can remember, gone miles, because that's the larger side, and put down in the crowd. 50's up inside the power play. Anil Sa in great nick. It's 55-1. The end of the power play. 5 fielders now allowed outside the 30-yard circle. Some relief for Rohit Kumar Patel, the captain of the Lions, as Durganath Subedi with the umpire cam on his wide brim hat. Signals the end of the power play. Interesting call, this. Bibek Yadav, who has been very, very expensive. In fact, he's the very top of the economy rate charts thus far, going at 14 runs per over. He's batted brilliantly. Actually had a chat with Monty Desai last night about this young man. No, he's a bits and pieces bowler, but I see him as such a good ball striker. I'd love to see him in the national T20 team as a batter and a batter alone. The reason why, HD, the national team has so many bowling options. They almost have too many. Kushal Malik can bowl left arm spin. Kushal Bertel has a magnificent strike rate. We've seen Rohit Paudal's off breaks. They don't need him to bowl if he's in the T20 side. Maybe he can show, although he starts with a wide here, that he is a good bowling option too.
absolutely clattered. Brave, just lost a wicket and then taking on the long side. But when you're in form and you're confident, why not? Talk about all those bowlers. If I'm not mistaken, is it the Avengers who always end up bowling 7, 8?
Pal just last month set an Equaline world record, would you believe? In the best part of 5,000 one-day internationals now in the history of the game, they joined an exclusive list of teams that have bowled 9 bowlers in an ODI. Quite remarkable. I think it was only done 8 times. That was the 8th time in history. It's a great thing to have flexibility and have options and have bowlers who can bat. I think the only one who didn't bowl was Anil Shah. Now, ironically, he had bowled in a couple of warm-up games. Bowls little off breaks too. Chance. Think he's going to be home. Fielders aren't overly interested, and the umpire isn't going to send it up either. So Anil Shah must have safely got there.
We always just hold our breath when there's a direct hit. But he is safely home. Yeah, I must admit, I've always been a believer when selecting a team is I don't believe bits and I don't mean disrespect in any way to a player for this, but I don't believe bits and pieces players win you the game. In other words, someone who can bowl a little bit and someone who can bat a little bit. I think you've got to have a specialist skill. In other words, I make this team as a batter and maybe I can bowl a little bit, which helps you. Or I make this team as a bowler, and the fact that I can bat a little bit is a bonus. But just bowls a little bit, bats a little bit, bonus. But to have someone that just bowls a little bit, bats a little bit, I don't think they win you matches. The other thing about having so many bowling options is that the responsibility factor. Someone else will do it rather than I will do it.
Yeah, fully agree with the point, but I'd also counter it in terms of, I think if you go in with 5 out-and-out bowlers and don't have that flexibility, counter it in terms of, I think if you go in with 5 out-and-out bowlers and don't have that flexibility for 6, particularly a 6, forget about a 7th option, but particularly a 6th option. We saw that cost the Lions earlier in that chase of 190. We were all calling out for Rohit Powell to bowl an over or 2 so that he didn't have to go to Vivek Yadav for that 4th and final. I think you need Yadav for that 4th and final. I think you need to have, in the modern game, it's rare that one of the 5 bowlers doesn't kind of get taken apart or get taken a liking to or have an off day. You need to have that 6th option if you can. Ideally, a 7th is a luxury. Top edge, now straight up, but I think it's going to land safely. Has had a few little moments of fortune, and Anil Shah has had a few little moments of fortune, and kind of just sums up the Lions tournament. They can't get those little things to go their way.
Yeah, these things happen when you're struggling as a unit. It just doesn't go to hand. I'm by no means suggesting that you only pick 5 bowlers. But if you look at the great all-rounders, when you think of the likes of the Ben Stokes, the Jacques Kallis of the world, the Richard Hadleys, the Sobers, I mean, the Bothams, one of their skills, they the best of that. Into the 7th, 60 for 1.
That's the leading run scorers charts there. See Janakpur bolts right up at the top of it. It is Rohit Paudel, it is the sixth bowler now into the attack. It is Rohit Paudel, it is the sixth bowler now into the attack. I thought he was the pick of the bowlers yesterday. I think it was 4 overs, 1 for 22. And with the left-hander at the crease, definitely a good option. The only problem is, it's the shorter side. It's a 57-metre leg side boundary. That's going to make it tricky, isn't it, for Paudel bowling to the left-hander?
Yeah, but I do think that's why he's brought himself on. I think he's hooked Zafar because he's worried about that the left-arm spinner bowling to Malanta to that short boundary.
A handy option with the ball, always gives it a tweak, gives it some turn. And then, I suppose, when he's bowling to the right-hander, he's got all that protection of the larger side.
I just hope, as you mentioned, Zafar is the wicket. I just hope, as you mentioned, Zafar is the wicket taker, and he is one of the most experienced players within the side. I hope they don't go to that old match-up story and don't bowl him at all.
Now, you mentioned, HD, in the pre-game show that this man's been in pretty good touch. This was his 62, coming off 42 against Karnali. HD, in the pre-game show that this man's been in pretty good touch. This was his 62, coming off 42 against Karnali. He's got a wonderful personal story. He really does. The sacrifice his family has made to allow him to chase his dreams through his mid-20s, to get back into the international reckoning, is quite something. That one angles down, and that was 62 unbeaten. That one angles down, and that was 62 unbeaten earlier in the tournament, and he started well here. It's 66 for 1. So the Bolts off to a flying start, particularly in the tricky morning conditions. They've been really good. They've played 3, they've won 3. The Lions have been the polar opposite. Played 3, lost 3. That'll be a wide. Played 3, lost 3. That'll be a wide. That's swung.
Around the wicket, trying to angle that in and then just sort of shaped away. It's a big wide. If that is what he's going to try and do, it's rather dangerous. If that is what he's going to try and do, it's rather dangerous with the short third inside the 30-yard circle and the backward point.
Same again. Other wide. Just in terms of assessing where we're at right now in this competition, and this competition, HD, you would have to think that the Lions must win today. If they lose, are they gone? Maybe not mathematically.
Just such a big ask to say to your side, well, you've got 3 left and you've got to win all 3 and you've got to win them well.
we've also seen some interesting news overnight as they'll get back for the second. I think even a direct hit would have got him home, but we saw the Sudar Pashim Royals announce bolster to their squad. You see this often now, don't you, in franchise cricket? Replacement players come in. Rohan Mustafa, we believe, has gone home for some personal reasons, and in comes Dilpreet Bajwa, the Canadian. He either opens the batting or bats at 3, can do both roles, and he made a century in the. We're out covering that there this year, and that was the only century of the tournament in some pretty tricky conditions in Brampton. So they've bolstered their stocks, and might hear of a player or two more coming into the mix. Is this where the franchises start to go, hold on, we've got to get into the playoffs?
Teams that make the changes are the ones that are struggling, but the Royals are right near the top. But yesterday they went in with just the 3 overseas players, so it's not a foregone conclusion that Dilpreet will arrive here and walk straight into the 11.
I think he's got in, and he should be available for today, as a misfield is going to cost 4. Not too sure about this tactic here from Bibek. It's being exploited by Malantha.
With this sort of field, you expect your bowler to bowl around the wickets to try and prevent the left-hander, or to not provide the left-hander with any room. But he's sort of shaping it away from the left-hander, and with the field of the backward point and the short third. And there's too many areas here where boundaries, field of the backward point and the short third. And there's too many areas here where boundaries can be found for Malantha.
And of all people, it's Tom Moore, is highly experienced, who's provided the misfield costs at least 3, if not 4 runs. Other surprise for me, keep going back to this discussion about matchups. No Surya Tamang yet. Runs. Other surprise for me, keep going back to this discussion about matchups. No Surya Tamang yet. Now, in fact, Surya Tamang's been left out. Apologies. I thought he's bowled really well. That for me isn't necessarily the right call. He's had at least 2, if not 3, catches dropped off his bowling. I think if you look at his raw numbers, maybe not the strongest. Another misfield. Well, the wheels are coming off a touch here, and even Rohit Powdell, who's a little bit like MS Dhoni, he's usually captain cool, starting to get frustrated with his team.
It's the one thing that has stood out for me in the field since arriving here is the number of fumbles, and it's more often than not when someone goes at it with one hand. There they do go with 2, but I think they get in each other's way. But quite often, this is good running. This is lovely running. Good cricket. Very aware that that is the long side of the ground, and so just a little nudge away on the leg side, and they set off.
And up at this altitude, Malantha breathing some heavy breaths. About 1,450 metres up we are here, above sea level, even in the base of the Kathmandu Valley. But it's perfectly weighted, you're spot on. And look at the anger with which, I think it's Durgesh Gupta, throws this, because he's just been given a bit of a talking to by his captain for not allowing him to do the fielding. There's definitely been some continued miscommunication amongst some of the teams. I'm going to think of 2 more here, but Malantha is happy just to keep the strike. It's not the greatest over. 14 have come from it. Bolts in full control. 80 for 1. So just a reminder, it's the top 4. That's what you've got to worry about here. And the bolts, again, it won't be mathematically certain of a top 4 finish, but all but guaranteed a playoff spot if they win today. They'll have played 4, they'll have won 4, they'll be the first team to get to 8 points. Particularly with a good net run rate. It's Pedal, just a wonderful piece of fielding off his own bowling. They're not going to run the second. That's good spirit of cricket from the Hiru Malantha because it's deflected off his bat.
Amazing that players choose not to run in that occasion, but if that ball goes to the boundary, it's 5. You would wonder if that's something that needs to be looked at. It cost someone a World Cup.
I was just about to say, we don't have any Kiwi voices up here in the commentary box, but if my old pal Scott Starris was here, he would remind you that it didn't cost them the World Cup. They didn't lose the World Cup, they tied it. I always ask him, well, why didn't they lift the trophy at the end of it then? That was truly maybe the most remarkable day of cricket.
And hard to believe that at the same time that remarkable game was going on, that arguably one of the great Wimbledon tennis finals of all time between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal was going on. I was a gibbering mess with my remote control.
It was a remarkable day. I'm sure people won't care too much. I was actually commentating that day on Ireland versus Zimbabwe up in Breedy in the northwest of Ireland. Whilst doing the post-match presentation, the Super Over was going on. Nobody was watching that and everyone was roaring about who was winning the World Cup final. This is helped around the corner. Won't quite get to the rope. Good diving stop